To this computer. Welcome to our Open Ed 25 session, Eyes on Equity, How the GoOpen Network Supports Marginalized Communities Through Open Education. During this session, we will have 5 distinct sections: Welcome and Framing, the Everyday Challenge, How GoOpen Supports Educators, Shifting the Narrative, and a Call to Action. Every day, educators find creative ways to support students whose needs don't always fit the mold, whether it's a multilingual learner, a student with a disability, or a classroom with limited resources. What I want to share today is how the GoOpen network amplifies that works, helping students to do what they already do best: meet students where they are. For those of you who don't yet know me, my name is Becky Henderson, and I am the GoOpen National Network's Community Engagement Manager. I started my career as a K-12 music educator, teaching in a wide variety of learning environments and communities in both Maryland and Pennsylvania. Those experiences really grounded me in understanding the diverse needs of students and the resourcefulness of teachers. From there, I transitioned into the EdTech world, working as a subject matter expert and eventually director of sales and partnerships. In those roles, I focused on curriculum design and building partnerships, and helping schools find solutions that supported their instructional goals, their staff, and their students. It gave me a unique perspective on how technology can both support and challenge equity in education. Currently, I serve as the Educational Enterprise Services Director at the Westmoreland Intermediate Unit in Pennsylvania. Before this role, I also worked across our curriculum and student services teams, which gave me a strong sense of how professional learning and student support can connect across systems. Throughout my career, I've been a strong advocate for special education and equity, especially in supporting students with disabilities, multilingual learners, and those in underserved communities. That passion drives much of my work today. And finally, I've had the privilege of presenting nationally and contributing to conversations around open education, digital equity, and AI in K-12 education. I've worked with groups like AESA, COSN, New America, and of course, Open Ed, which makes it really exciting to be here sharing this work with you. The GoOpen National Network is a community of educators and leaders who are passionate about supporting K-12 open education. At its core, the network is about knowledge sharing and collaboration to strengthen teaching and learning. GoOpen actually began as a federal initiative under the U.S. Department of Education's Office of Ed Tech, where it ran for 6 years. During that time, many states launched their own GoOpen initiative. Since early 2022, the network has been community-led, with educators and leaders coming together to sustain and broaden that work. One of the big steps forward has been the launch of the GoOpen Hub on OER Commons, which provides a centralized place to share and discover resources. And instead of limiting membership to states or districts with specific requirements, we've opened it up to individuals so that any educator anywhere can join and be part of the community. Our focus is on providing practical supports like professional learning opportunities, public webinars, and peer mentoring connections so that educators can learn from and with one another. And we're also working at the systems level, partnering with organizations like Foresight Law and Policy to develop policy actions and guidance that can influence the broader education ecosystem. So really, GoOpen is about building community, sharing resources, and making sure that open education is something every educator can access and use to benefit their students. Let's talk about what we see when we walk into classrooms across the country. When we step into any classroom today, we know that no two students are the same. They come with diverse backgrounds, languages, and abilities, and that diversity is one of the strengths of our schools. But we also know that the resources we're often handed don't always fit those needs. Traditional one-size-fits-all materials can leave some students behind, especially when we're trying to meet the needs of multilingual learners, students with disabilities, or students in under-resourced communities. And here's the truth. Educators are already doing the hard work of bridging those gaps. Teachers adapt lessons, create their own resources, and remix what's available. But too often, they're doing this work on their own, spending evenings and weekends trying to make materials that truly fit their students' needs. That's the reality we see across classrooms, and it's exactly the space where open education and the GoOpen network step in to make the work lighter, more collaborative, and more sustainable. So, if the reality is that students have diverse needs and teachers are already adapting, creating, and remixing, often on their own, the question becomes, how do we make that work easier and more sustainable and more collaborative? That's where the GoOpen network really shines. One of the key ways GoOpen supports educators is through professional learning. The network provides webinars, workshops, and ongoing communities where teachers can learn practical strategies from adapting GoOpen educational resources. For example, in a recent session on OER and AI, participants explored how simple AI tools can help them translate, scaffold, and personalize resources more quickly. These kinds of tools that save teachers time can also help them meet the diverse needs of their students. The goal always is to make practical, more efficient, and more flexible student-centered offerings so teachers can spend less time reinventing the wheel and more time connecting with learners. Another important way GoOpen supports educators is by connecting classroom practice to broader systems level supports. We know that when teachers and administrators are working in isolation, even the best ideas can lose momentum. That's why aligning classroom innovation with district, state, and federal goals is so critical. To help with that, GoOpen has developed resources designed specifically for leaders and administrators. One is our guide on using open educational resources to advance the implementation of state digital equity plans. This resource helps states see how OER can directly support their digital equity commitments, making sure that access and inclusion aren't just talked about, but built into policy and planning. Another is the K-12 Guide for OER and Student-Centered and Equitable Practices. This tool helps districts connect OER to their own instructional priorities, from comprehensive implementation of MTSS frameworks to school improvement initiatives in a student-centered and equitable manner. It shows leaders how to move OER from being just an instructional option to being part of the system itself. By providing these kinds of resources, the GoOpen network helps to ensure that teachers and administrators aren't working alone. Instead, their efforts to adapt and share OER are supported by policies, plans, and systems that amplify their work. The third way GoOpen supports educators is by curating and sharing resources that respond directly to the realities teachers face. One recent example is our K-12 English Learner Essentials collection. In response to the rescission of federal guidance and the uncertainty around Title III funding, districts have been left without clear direction on how to support multilingual learners in a sustainable manner. This collection was designed to fill that gap. It includes over 800 language education resources on OER Commons, more than 270 Voice of America Let's Learn English resources, and a set of professional learning materials recommended for GoOpen endorsement. To make it even easier for teachers and administrators, we're working to designate certain resources with a GoOpen endorsement, which highlights exemplary, student-centered, and adaptable materials. So this isn't just about having resources available. It's about giving educators confidence that the resources that they choose are high quality, adaptable, relevant to their student populations, and ready to use in real classrooms. So what does this all mean when we put it all together? When we talk about open education, it's important to shift the narrative. Too often, teachers hear about new initiatives and think this is just one more thing on my plate. But open education and the GoOpen National Network is different. Open education is not about giving teachers more to do. It's about giving them more to share. It builds on the creativity and resourcefulness that teachers are already bringing into their classrooms every single day. OER empowers teachers and administrators to collaborate with one another, to save time by reusing and remixing high-quality resources, and to focus more on their energy on the things that matter most, supporting students. And through the GoOpen community, we're lifting up and celebrating that creativity and care, making sure educators don't have to do the work alone, but can share it and benefit from each other's strengths. So what does this look like for you? Here are 3 simple ways to take the next step with GoOpen. First, you can join the GoOpen network. It's a welcoming community of educators and leaders where you can connect with peers, share what you're doing, and learn from others. The second is to try just one small step. Take an open educational resource, remix it for your classroom, and share it back with a colleague. That's how the movement grows, one resource at a time, multiplied through sharing. And third, think systemically. Encourage your school or district to look at how OER can be part of a professional learning Planning and equity initiatives. When resources are supported at the system level, it creates lasting impact. I'll close with gratitude. Educators are already doing the hard work of meeting students where they are. The GoOpen National Network simply helps make that work easier, more connected, and more impactful for all learners. Thank you, and please stay in touch.